Hello, everybody. Welcome to Yoga for Self-Love with Kim. I'm Kim. This will be a short, slow flow Vinyasa practice today. Heavy on the legs, but of course, everything is connected. So it'll be a full body flow as well. You might want a strap for the practice, so grab a strap if you have it. If you don't, you could use a belt or bathrobe tie or sash or something like that. And if you don't have anything like that, no big deal, you can work around it. You might also want a couple of yoga blocks for the practice. And we're gonna start in seated. I am sitting up on a blanket here. If you like, feel free to sit up on something and give yourself a little boost and find an upright alignment through your spine. So gather your things, come join me on the mat. Find your seat, whatever feels good for you today. Legs crossed, legs wide, soles of the feet together, Baddha Konasana. Or you could sit in Vajrasana with the knees bent and sitting your bum back up on your heels. So any seated position. And if it feels okay for you, close your eyes or find a steady gaze. And just take a moment to connect in with yourself, body, mind, breath, spirit. Check in with your energy. How does your energy feel today? Let go of judgment and just be curious about what is going on for you and how you're doing. And begin to check in and notice how your breath feels. Deep, smooth, and steady, flowing, maybe shorter, quicker, more congested, whatever it might be today. Honor where you are and what your body has to offer you today. As always, I invite you to bring in the intention to be gentle, kind, patient, loving, and compassionate with yourself. You're doing the best you can, and that's awesome. And turn up the corners of your lips into a little smile. And bring one hand to rest on the heart, other hand to rest on top of it. Send yourself some loving kindness. And then you can release the hands down and begin to flutter your eyes open. Now let's extend both legs out in front, coming into Dandasana staff pose. Fingers underneath the shoulders, pressing down into the mat. Could have a big or little bend in the knees here if you need it to keep your pelvis in a neutral situation. Crown of the head reaching up, spine nice and long, sides of the body long and spacious. And then let's bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet together, the knees out to the sides, coming into cobbler's pose or Baddha Konasana. And then let's send legs out to the sides, so taking legs wide to your degree, and sitting up nice and tall. Finding that neutral alignment through your pelvis so the pelvis is not rolling back or tipping too far forward. And then let's bring legs back together. Send the legs forward back into your staff pose. Feet come back together, knees open out to the sides, Baddha Konasana. And then again, extend the legs out to the sides, Upavishta Konasana, legs wide. And then one more time, extend the legs forward. Again, big or little bend in the knees if you need it. Stay here or reach arms up along the ears. Begin to slowly hinge from your hips and bring your belly down towards the thighs. Reach the hands for the feet and the heart for your toes. And then bring yourself all the way back up. Keep the left leg extended. Let's bend that right knee. Take that right foot to rest on the inner left thigh. Fingers underneath the shoulders. Again, press down into the fingers. Find length up through the spine. Hold it here or begin to hinge it forward And bring your belly back towards that left thigh, heart reaching for the left toes. Hands can frame that left leg, or maybe you grab a hold of that left foot if it's available to you. You could also grab your strap here, loop that left foot, and you fold into your degree. So no forcing anything, just taking it nice and easy as we're just getting going here, just opening up the body. Lift yourself back up, switch it to the other side, extend the right leg out, and let's bend that left knee, left foot comes to meet that right inner thigh, left knee out to the side, fingers underneath shoulders, again lengthening up through the spine, up through the crown of the head, and then stay here or we'll fold it forward. Hands reaching towards that right foot, belly reaching towards that right thigh, heart reaching up towards the toes. Back nice and long. And then we'll lift it back up. And then switch it to the other side again. Left leg extends, right foot comes back to meet that left inner thigh. Fingers under shoulders, sit up tall, holding here. Or again, fold yourself forward over that left leg. And then reach yourself back up. Now let's lift up that right knee, plant that right foot down to the mat. Take both hands around that right shin. Sit up tall. If you need to, you could step that right foot a little bit forward if you feel like having that foot a little bit closer to the sitting bones causes the back or the pelvis to roll back. Then you could step that right foot forward. And then switch to the other side, extend right leg out, bend that left knee, take it out to the side, left foot to that right inner thigh, sit up tall, holding here or fold it forward. And then bring yourself back up, pick up that left knee, plant that left foot. Again, inch that left foot a little bit forward if you need it. Hands to that left shin, hug the shin in as you sit up nice and tall. And then release that. Take ourselves over onto our hands and knees, coming into table. And then just find some movement here, a little wiggling, snaking, any motion that feels good. You need to loosen up through the hips and spine. Bring yourself to center. Let's take it through a few rounds of cat-cow. Inhaling as you lift the tail, soften the belly, lift the heart and the gaze, and exhaling as you round up through your back, press down through the hands, drop the tail down towards the mat. A couple more times, rolling yourself through, finding your breath, your rhythm. And bring yourself back into your table. And now tuck your toes under, begin to walk yourself back, roll up onto the balls of the feet, and then bring yourself into a squat pose. So if it's available, maybe the heels drop to the mat, or not, you could be up on balls of the feet. Turn your toes out at a little bit of an angle, knees out at a little bit of an angle. Let's take palms together, elbows inside the knees, elbows pressing knees open at the same time, knees hugging in, resisting the elbows. Spine long, tail reaching down, crown of the head reaching up. Let's take hands to the mat. Begin to send your bum up towards the ceiling and turn your feet in, parallel-ish. Fold yourself in over the legs, finding that forward fold. And then again, let's turn the toes out a little bit. Lower yourself back down into your squat pose. Palms come back together. And then again, hands to the mat. Send your bum up towards the ceiling. Fold yourself in. Forward fold. Give the head a little nod or shake while you're here. And let's turn the toes out again. Lower yourself back down into that squat pose. Elbows inside the knees. Finding that resistance between knees hugging in, elbows pressing out. And then one more time, fingers to the mat. Lift up your bum, turn the feet back in, parallel-ish, and fold yourself in. And then lower yourself down, roll up onto the balls of the feet. Let's bring the palms together at the heart, finding yogi toe pose. And then hands come back down to the mat, walk yourself back out into your table. Let's extend the right leg back behind you, drop that right foot to the mat, press into the hands as you press out through that right heel. And release that right knee down to the mat. Extend that left leg back behind you. Drop the ball of that left foot down to the mat. Press out through the heel as you press down and out through the hands. And then release. Let's extend the right leg back. Bend that right knee round in through the chest. Step that right foot up towards top of the mat. Press down into the right foot. Sweep the arms up as you lift yourself up into a low lunge. And then hands come back down to the mat. Step that right foot back. Let's extend that left leg back behind you. Bend that left knee. Draw underneath the body up towards the chest and step that left foot through to left thumb. Press into that left foot. Lift yourself up, arms sweep up, finding your low lunge. Hands come back down to the mat. We'll step it back. Over to the other side again. Right leg moves back behind you, hip level-ish. Then bend the right knee, hug it underneath the body. Step that right foot up, top of the mat. Now let's sweep the arms forward this time. Keeping your belly tucked in towards that right thigh. And then sweep the arms back behind you. Sweep arms forward. And then the arms back. Arms forward. Arms back. Now we'll tuck the back toes under. Begin to slowly pull your hips back. You can take fingers down to the mat. Roll up on to that right heel and pull the right toes back towards you. Walk yourself forward again. And then we'll tuck back toes, pull the hips back, roll up onto that right heel. Walk it forward. And then one more time, we'll walk it back, rolling up onto that right heel, finding our half Hanuman pose here. And then bring yourself forward, plant hands, step yourself back into your table, other side, left leg moves back. Bend that left knee, hug it underneath the body, and step that foot up to that left thumb. Now keeping belly tucked in towards that left thigh, we'll sweep the arms forward, and then the arms sweep back. Arms reaching forward, arms sweep back again. Arms sweep forward, and then the arms sweep back, and then we'll tuck right toes under. Begin to slowly pull yourself back, rolling up onto that left heel, pulling the left toes back towards you. You can drop fingers towards the mat. Then we'll walk it forward. Walk it back again, roll up onto that left heel. One more time, walk yourself forward. And then we walk it back again, rolling up onto the left heel, finding that half Hanuman. One more time. Walk yourself forward and then step yourself back into your table. Now let's tuck the toes under, glide the hips up and back. Finding your down dog and take some movement here, whatever feels good. Pedaling out legs, bending, straightening knees, shimmying, rocking. And then we'll bend the knees, crouch it down, and then glide the hips up and back. Bend your knees, crouch yourself down, glide your hips up and back. Bend the knees, crouch it down again, and this time when you send the hips up, send right leg up also, three-legged dog. We'll begin to shift forward, coming into a plank pose, keeping that right leg lifted. And then send yourself up and back, three-legged dog. Release right foot down to the mat. Crouch yourself down. Send that left leg up for a three-legged dog. Begin to shift yourself forward into a plank, keeping left leg lifted. And then back you come into your three-legged dog. Release that foot down to the mat. Slowly walk yourself up top of the mat. Forward fold, soften the knees, bigger little bend in the knees. Bring the belly to the thighs, hinging from the hips. Shake, nod head, rock the hips. Bring yourself to center, hands to the hips, press into your feet, rise up. Let's take palms together overhead, slide hands down to heart. Now let's bend your knees, sit back in your chair, sweep your arms forward, bum back, hips back, knees back. And then sweep the arms back behind you, ski jumpers pose. Sweep the arms forward again, and then sweep the arms back. Sweep the arms forward. Let's bring palms together at the heart. Fold yourself in, forward fold. And then let's take it halfway up. Hands to the mat, the shins, the thighs, lengthening out through the spine, tail back, crown of the head forward. Plant your hands down to the mat and step yourself back into plank. Drop knees down to the mat, lower yourself down, belly, torso, elbows hug in. Press into fingers, toes, pubic bone, peel the heart up for your baby cobra. And then release it down, tuck toes. Press into your hands and glide your hips up and back. Downward dog. Step or float yourself forward, forward fold. Halfway lift to that flat back, Ardha Uttanasana. And then fold it in, press down into the feet, rise up, palms together. Hands come back to heart. Sit back in your chair again, sweep the arms forward, and then sweep the arms back. Sweep the arms forward, sweep the arms back. This time when you sweep arms forward, if it is available to you, roll up onto balls of your feet. Sweep the arms back, palms facing up as you lower the heels back down. And then fold yourself into that forward fold. Come halfway up, flat back. Hands to the mat and step yourself back into plank. Drop your knees down, lower all the way down. Elbows hug in, lift up through the heart, baby cobra. If you feel ready or warm enough, you can find your way into a full cobra. And then release yourself down, tuck the toes, send the hips up and back. Step or hop it forward, back into your forward fold, halfway up to that flat back. Fold it in, press into the feet, rise up, palms together overhead, and then back to heart. Arms reach up. Fold yourself in. Halfway up to that flat back. Plant the hands down to the mat. Step it back into your plank. Now either lower all the way down to the belly, find your cobra, or we'll take it into a chaturanga, low push-up, and then into upward dog. For your chaturanga, roll it forward on your toes. Bend your elbows as you lower down. Elbows will stack over the wrists. Keep the belly lifted. And then come on to tops of the feet, thighs lifted. Root into your finger pads. Draw the heart forward. We'll meet back in our downward dog. Crouch down, tiger dog. Send right leg up for a three-legged dog. Bend that right knee, shift it forward. Step a right foot through to that right thumb. Stay up on ball of that back foot. Begin to peel yourself up, and we'll sweep the arms forward and then sweep the arms back. Arms reach forward, arms reach back. Arms reach forward, and this time lift yourself all the way up into your high lunge, fingers reaching up. And then hands come down to the mat and step yourself back to plank. Find your flow. And we will meet back in our downward dog. Crouch down, send left leg up. Bend the left knee, shift it forward, core plank, knee hugs into chest. Step left foot through to that left thumb. Stay up on ball of that right foot. Begin to lift yourself up a little bit, really still close to the thigh. Arms sweep forward, arms sweep back. Arms reach forward again. Arms reach back. Arms sweep forward, and then this time put a little bend in the back knee as you lift yourself all the way up. High lunge, and then sink into that left knee. Straighten that back leg a little bit. And then hands come back down to the mat and step yourself back into your plank and find your vinyasa. Meeting in our down dog. And then stepping up or hopping up to top of the mat. Forward fold. Bring it halfway up to that flat back. And then fold it in. Press into the earth, rise up. Palms together. Sit it back in chair. Arms sweep forward. Arms sweep back. Arms sweep forward, roll up onto balls of feet. Arms sweep back, lower the heels. One more time, arms sweep forward, roll it up, balls of the feet. Arms sweep back as you lower the heels down. Palms to the heart. Fold yourself in. Halfway up to your flat back. Plant your hands down to the mat and step yourself back into your plank. Find your flow. Meeting in down dog. And then we'll crouch it down, send that left leg up, three-legged dog. Bend the left knee, shift forward, find that core plank, step that left foot through. Stay up on the ball of that right foot, bend that right knee, both knees bent here. Press down into your feet, hug in through your legs, lift yourself up, reach the arms all the way up. Find that high lunge. And now hands come down, weight travels into that front foot, left foot. Begin to step, slide that right leg up, draw that knee up towards the chest. Keep it here or extend the right leg forward. You could use a strap here if you like. And then we'll bend that right knee. Slowly begin to send that right leg back behind you. So you tip yourself forward, finding a warrior three. If you need or would like blocks for your warrior three, feel free to grab them. Have them down on your mat. Or you could take your hands to that left thigh, press into that left thigh, and reach the spine long. Now from here, we'll take fingers down to the mat, bringing it into a standing splits. We're going to send that right leg up and back behind you. Draw your nose down towards that left knee. And then we slowly step that right foot back to the mat. Bend both knees again. Lift yourself up, finding high lunge. Bring that right leg a little bit straighter here. And then hands down to the mat. Step it back into your plank. And find your flow. Moving back in our downward dog. Crouch down, send right leg up. Bend the right knee, shift it forward, core plank. Step right foot through. Stay up on ball of that left foot. Bend both knees. Press into your feet. Hug in through the legs. Lift yourself up. Right hip hugs back a little bit. Left hip forward a little bit. Arms reach up. Straighten that back leg. Smile. Begin to take the weight forward into that right foot. Step, hop, slide that left leg up, knee towards your chest. Keeping knee bent here, or standing out through that left leg. Hug that left femur back into the hip socket. Use a strap here if you like. And then we'll slowly begin to bend that left knee. Send that left foot back behind you as you tilt yourself forward, finding your way into a warrior three. Blocks on the mat if you want them. Or again, hands could come to rest on that right thigh. And then we'll take fingers down to the mat. Begin to fold yourself in as you send that left leg up and back. Standing splits. And then slowly step that left foot back to the mat. Bend both knees, press down into the feet, hug in through the legs, lift yourself up, finding that high lunge. And then hands come down to the mat, step yourself back into your plank and find your flow. Step or hop it up, top of the mat, find your forward fold again. Halfway up, flat back, fold it in. Press into the earth, rise up. Take hands back to heart. Bend your knees, sit back in your chair. Bum back. Sweep the arms back. Sweep the arms forward, roll up onto balls of feet. Sweep the arms back, lower the heels. Again, sweep it forward, rolling up onto balls of the feet. And then lower heels down as you sweep the arms back. Palms together at your heart. Fold yourself in, forward fold. Halfway lift to that flat back. And plant the hands again. Step it back into plank. Find your flow. Meeting in our downward dog again. Crouch down. Send the right leg up. Bend the right knee. Bring it forward. Step right foot through. Staying up on ball of left foot again. Press down into the feet. Lift yourself up. Arms reach up. Maybe you straighten the back leg. Arms come back down. Take the weight into that right foot. Step, hop, or slide that left foot forward. Draw that knee up towards the chest. Keeping the knee bent or standing out through that left leg. Let's take it back into our warrior three. Send that left leg back. Hands to the mat or to your blocks or to your front thigh or whatever variation you like with the hands. And then we'll take hands down to the mat. Fold it in, send that left leg up and back. Standing splits. Slowly, slowly, left foot comes back to the mat. Bend the knees, lift yourself back up. High lunge. Hands down to the mat, step it back. Find your plank. Find your flow. And back to down dog. Other side, let's even it off. Crouch down, left leg up. Bend that left knee, shift forward, step left foot through. Staying on ball of right foot, bend both knees. Lift yourself up, high lunge. Weight into that front foot. Release the arms down, step, hop, slide. Right leg forward, hug that knee up towards the chest. Stand out through that right leg. Bend that right knee. Slowly send that right leg back for a warrior three. And then fingers down to the mat. Fold in, standing splits as you send the right leg up. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Right foot comes back to the mat. Bend both knees and we'll lift it up. High lunge. Hands to the mat. Step it back to plank. Find your flow. Step or hop it up top of the mat. Fold it in. Uttanasana. Halfway up. Ardha Uttanasana. Fold in. Press into the earth. Come all the way back up. Palms come back to heart. Let's reach the arms up. Fold it in. Halfway lift. Plant your hands and step yourself back to plank. Find your flow. Just move back in our down dog. Walk hands back to meet the feet. So come into your forward fold at the back of your mat. Turn toes out, knees out, lower yourself down. Come back into our squat pose. Palms together, elbows inside the knees again. Find that resistance between the knees and the elbows. And then hands to the mat, send your bum up, turn the feet back in, parallel-ish, fold in. Again, turn toes out, knees out, lower your bum down, find that Malasana squat pose again. Hands to the mat, turn the toes back in, send the bum up, fold in. One more time, let's turn the toes out, knees out, drop your bum down into your squat. And then hands to the mat, send your bum up, turn the feet back in, parallel-ish, fold in. And then we'll bend knees. Send your bum back, sweep the arms forward, coming back into a chair pose. Sweep the arms back. Arms reach forward again, roll up onto balls of feet. Arms reach back as you lower the heels. One more time, arms reach forward, roll it up, balls of the feet. Heels lower as you sweep the arms back. Press into your feet, rise all the way up to stand, palms together overhead, hands down to your heart. Let's reach it up. Find that forward fold. Shake your head, nod your head, rock your hips. And then walk yourself back out, downward dog. And then pause here for a breath or two, finding stillness or movement or whatever speaks to you right now. Drop your knees down to the mat. Come back to sit on your heels. Strap over to one hip, swing your legs around. Extend the legs out in front of you. Bigger little bend in the knees. Lift up your right sitting bone, hug it back. Lift up your left sitting bone, hug it back. Right sitting bone lifts, hug it back. Lift up your left sitting bone, hug it back. Fingers underneath the shoulders. Sit up nice and tall. And then let's take soles of feet together, knees wide, out to the sides. Extend the legs out wide, coming back through our Upavishta Konasana. And then we'll extend the legs back forward again, Dandasana. Keep it here or reach the arms up along the ears. Hinge from the hips, fold it forward. Hands to feet or shins or mat. Belly to the thighs. Heart reaching towards toes. Back nice and long. Bring yourself back. Let's bend that right knee. Bring that right foot to that left inner thigh, coming back into our Janu Shirshasana again, fingers underneath shoulders. Sit up nice and tall, hold here, or fold yourself forward over left leg. And then walk yourself up. Let's lift up that right knee, drop that right foot to the mat. Hands to that right shin. Hug the right shin in as you lengthen up through the spine. Stay here or reach the right arm inside of that right leg, right knee, towards that left foot and fold yourself in over that left leg. Keep hugging that right knee in towards that right shoulder. And then bring yourself up. Extend the right leg down the mat. Bend the left knee. Take that left foot to right inner thigh. Fingers around behind you. Sit up nice and tall. Hold here. Or begin to fold yourself forward over right leg. And then bring yourself up. Let's pick up that left knee. Drop the foot to the mat. Hands to that left shin. Crown of the head reaching up. Hold here or reach that left arm inside of left leg. Begin to fold it forward. Hands reaching for right foot or mat or shin. Left knee hugging in towards left shoulder. And then walk yourself up. Bring yourself into easy seat, shins crossed. And grab a hold of your strap. Sit up nice and tall here. Again, finding that neutral alignment in the pelvis. And then we'll take our strap, just loop it around the ball of that right foot. Left leg can stay as it is, keeping the spine nice and tall. Begin to extend that right leg out in front of you. Hands gently pulling on the strap, shoulders back. Elbows drawing back. Breath or two here. Sending your breath into the back of that right leg. Crouch asana modification. And then slowly lower right leg down. Switch it over to the other side. And that right knee. And draw that right foot back into your easy seat position. And then we'll loop ball of the left foot. Begin to extend that left leg out in front of you. Hands to the strap. Arms plugged into the shoulder sockets. Shoulder blades down the back. Standing out through that left leg as you gently pull on the strap. And then slowly lower left leg down to the mat. Remove your strap. Grab one of your blocks. We'll take it into a supported inversion before we close out our practice. So lower yourself down onto your back. Bend your knees. Plant the feet down. Lift up your hips and tuck your block right underneath the back of your sacrum. Hands down to the mat, or you could grab a hold of the edges of your mat with your hands. Lift your knees up. Line the knees up over the hips. Stay here, or extend legs all the way up to the ceiling. You can close your eyes here if you like. Take a moment here, just changing our orientation to gravity. Allowing blood, lymph to flow from the feet, the legs, down into the belly, the torso. Relax through your shoulders, through your jaw. And then slowly bend your knees, lower your feet down to the mat, press into your feet, lift up your hips, pluck out that block. Find your way into Shavasana, your Shavasana, whatever feels right for you today. And relax. Just take a few moments here. Absorbing, integrating the effects of your practice. Come back to your intention to be gentle, kind, patient, loving, compassionate with yourself. And cross your arms over your chest and give yourself a squeeze. Bring both hands to rest on your heart. Send yourself some more loving kindness. And then release your hands. Roll yourself over to one side. Press yourself up. Bring yourself back into a seated position, palms together at the heart. Thank you so much for sharing this practice with me today with love and gratitude. Namaste.